What's up, guys? So I'm out of breath right now because I just finished a pretty hardcore run, and I don't actually know how hardcore it was, and I'll explain that to you in a minute, but I wanted to talk to you all a little bit this morning. So I'm back from vacation, and I don't really know if I would call this a coaching video, but I just wanted to talk to you all about two observations that I made upon returning from vacation this year. So, number one, in the past, anytime I went on vacation, it was to escape from my miserable everyday life. And so at the end of vacation, it was always kind of like this bummer, like, oh God, now back to quote unquote real life. And I would always be like sort of bitter or frustrated or a little bit resentful the first couple of weeks back from vacation. And here's what I've realized. Number one, since I've changed my perspective about work-life balance, and I no longer incorporate the word work in there, it's just life balance, because work is not separate from life. It's just part of life. And I love my work. So it's just another part of my life that I have to balance in with everything else. So when you talk about saying work-life balance, it's as if, Guten Morgen, it's as if you treat work as if it's a separate part of your life that you have to deal with in order to get back to your life. And if you think of it this way, then you will develop sort of like a dichotomous relationship with your life and work. And you don't want to do that. You kind of want them to work together harmoniously. The only way to do that is to see them as being part of the same thing. So here's what I noticed upon returning from vacation. Because of the fact that I no longer see it as work-life balance, it's just a life balance, my vacation was not getting away from work. It wasn't getting away from my everyday life. It was more like an opportunity to break my current routine or trends in my life. Because what I've noticed is that when there are breaks in habits or routines, new thoughts start to come up. And when new thoughts start to come up, you can either notice beliefs or thought patterns that you didn't realize you had, or you can create new beliefs and thought patterns that you want in your life. You're like, oh, yeah, I never thought about it that way. Maybe I should start believing this. So I sort of treat vacation now as not an escape, but an opportunity to sort of have like a short, different perspective on life so that I can change up my thought patterns in places that I would not normally see when I get so much in a routine that the thoughts become so normal I don't recognize them anymore. And so by the end of vacation, I found myself actually kind of excited to get back home because I was like, man, I am, feeling good. I have these sort of some of these new thoughts about what I want to do with work, with home life, with new goals and stuff. And I was just excited to get back home and start doing it, living the thoughts that I was having, even though I'd already started living them on vacation, but I wanted to apply them at home. So I was really excited to get home. And then we went and picked up Toby yesterday because he's been with Andre's family while we were on vacation. So excited to see him. And when we got him home, he was like running around the apartment and playing with me and Andre. I actually started crying because I was so happy. And Guten Morgen. And so I noticed, I was like, wow, this is very different than in the past, I didn't feel resentful. I felt very open, very calm, very excited at the same time. And also, I just felt a lot of love, a lot of it. And it felt good. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys, that I really think this dichotomous way of thinking in the work-life balance, it doesn't serve us. It really doesn't. If you hate your job so much that you have to separate it out as work or life, then I would ask you, what are you doing in that job? Not that jobs are supposed to make us happy. They're not. But at the same time, if you're only doing a job because you thought it was supposed to make you happy because, I don't know, it makes a lot of money or something, or you thought that having the title would give you some prestige. There's that supremacy culture that I made the post about this morning coming out again. Prestige from your job title. and you're realizing now that the title doesn't actually make you happy or prestigious in any way, because it doesn't, then I would have to ask you to maybe think about, why is it that you're doing that for work? What is it that you wanted to do before the world told you what you should do for work? Think about it. And then on to the second thing. So while I was on vacation, we stayed, as you guys saw on my post, we road tripped. So we stayed in a different hotel almost every night, except for our last 3 nights of vacation that we were in Lausanne. And we stayed in Lausanne for 3 nights. But in the middle of the week, we stayed in a hotel in Interlaken, and I left my watch charger plugged into the wall when we left the hotel. So my watch, because we walk a whole lot, the battery life is about like 2 days max. And that's if I don't use it a whole lot for exercise. So the watch battery eventually died, and I realized I don't have my charger. So we had to call the hotel, and they have my charger. They're mailing it to me, and so I'll probably get it, I don't know, maybe Tuesday of this week. But what I realized, I didn't have my watch for the last 4 days. And so I wasn't able to track my walking, and I wasn't able to track my calorie burn, and I wasn't able to check what time it was all the time, because guys, my phone has 2 SIM cards in it. My business SIM card and my personal SIM card. And when I'm on vacation, I don't want to think about work, because I'm trying to get away from those thoughts that I have on everyday life surrounding work and what I do for a living, trying to slip into some new thinking. So I don't want to be reminded of the old thought patterns. So I don't look at my phone very often. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I left my phone in the hotel room because I wanted to be in the moment. And here's what I noticed. I went for a run today, and I didn't have my watch, so I had no idea how fast I was running. I had no idea what time I was running, how many kilometers. I had no idea what distance I ran. I think I ran around 5 kilometers if I did the route right, but it wasn't important. But here's what I noticed, is that there was like this tension that was gone. And I don't know how fast I was running, but because it was like I could just freely run and be in the moment and not be looking at my watch to see how long I've been running, how far I've been running, what my pace is, how many steps I've done, blah, 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 blah. There was none of that. It was just me, my breathing, my steps, and the music. And because I didn't know how far I had run or how long it had been, I wasn't trying to pace myself according to the time so that I didn't wear myself out. So I was just kind of like running with the beat and enjoying it, kind of dancing a little bit while I was running. And it was just like, my spirit was soaring. And so it felt like I was flying. Like, I don't know, I felt like I was literally floating across the ground in the woods. I was going so fast. But it was just a great run. And what I realized is that, and I talk to my clients about this quite frequently too, because sometimes we do food tracking if we're trying to adjust eating habits. We also do exercise tracking if we're, tracking exercise habits. And I always tell my clients, this is only to get you to the point where you realize where you are. Then at that point in time, once the tracking becomes a project, like you have to fix something, like there's something broken about you and you need to fix it, then I usually tell people, take a break from tracking. Don't track. I do this with my food tracking. I'll track for a week and then I won't track for a month. And then I'll track for a week and then I won't track for a month. And the week that I'm tracking is simply just to reassure myself, hey, you're not overdoing it, because sometimes I have this voice creeping in the back of my head. Oh no, what if you go back to overeating again? Or what if your eating has gotten out of control because you've gotten too comfortable? And so I use like the week of tracking to just sort of remind myself, no, Seth, you got this. You're doing great. Because every time I track, I'm eating the right amounts of food, right macronutrients, and I'm not changing anything. So, but what I notice is if I track for longer than a week, it starts to feel like I'm trying to discipline. Hold on. It feels like I'm trying to discipline myself or like punish myself somehow. So I usually only track for a week. But I never paid attention to how much me tracking my runs was doing the same thing to me. I never noticed that until I went for a run today without my watch for the first time in, I don't know, probably over a year that I've run without a watch to track my run. And this is what I'm talking about also, about how vacations sort of get you into a different routine, different space. So you have some new thoughts that come in and you can sort of recognize the old thinking patterns and things. So same thing with this. It was like I had a vacation, a run vacation from my watch, and it sort of helped me to notice the difference in the thinking without the watch. So I could then be like, huh, that's so weird that I feel so different right now. And then I could think back to like, what is it that I'm thinking differently today than what I usually think when I'm running? And so I could actually pay attention to it because it made it obvious. So yeah, I just wanted to share those two things with you guys. I thought that was really cool how the run went so great this morning without tracking the run with the watch. So I think I'm gonna start doing the same thing with my watch as I do with my food tracking. I think I'm only gonna track my runs for maybe a week here and there and then stop tracking them, and probably not even wear my watch when I run so that I can't look at the time. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys about the tracking because I know a lot of people that do a lot of tracking and they become so obsessed with it that it becomes almost like a self-flagellation, like a punishment that people do to themselves. Like, you're so broken, you can't do this on your own. You need an app or you need a watch to track this for you. And we don't realize the negative relationship that creates with ourselves. It tells us that we don't trust ourselves. And that's so important to trust and love yourself. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you. And also the thing about how different it felt coming back from vacation this year, because I had changed that thinking surrounding work-life balance and no longer using work-life balance, but just life balance. And how this is sort of coming back home somehow felt exciting this time. It was like, yeah, that's it. I'm ready. I've had my change of pace. I've got this new awareness, these new thoughts, these new ideas. I felt fresh, and I was like, man, so excited to bring this back to my normal routine at home. And also to change up my normal routine at home with the ways that I realized, yeah, maybe that's not serving me as well as I thought it would, or it was. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you, talk with you guys a little bit this morning. I haven't posted a video in a while because the week before vacation, my husband was sick. And then, well, I was on vacation for a week. And so yeah, I wanted to hop on here, do a quick video for you guys this morning. I'm back in Zurich, back home. Got my puppy at home, where life is good. So yeah, I hope you all are enjoying your weekend. And that's all I've got for you today. Leave me your thoughts, comments below, questions if you have them. Love to talk more about this with you guys if someone's interested in opening up this conversation more with me. And I will talk to you soon. Have a great Sunday. Ciao.